Hey, it's LSFT here today, and today we're here to look at this press release from Lexus Canada. It actually says that the all-new 2023 Lexus RZ450e. So, when they actually announced the 2023 RZ450e in the United States, they actually provided pricing. And the pricing of that in the US and the trims that they have was the premium at 59,650 US, the premium all-wheel drive at 60,890, so $60,890, and the luxury, which is 65,150. And when you look at that, the US, they typically have a base MSRP, and then you can add some a la carte items. So pricing is much lower in the US, and then you can add additional things as you like. But then in Canada, it's a little bit different. We only get packages, and there's really no additional a la carte items that we can get. So either you get a fully loaded or you get something that is predefined for the Canadians. So in this press release, let's go down and see what they say. So they're saying that this is the first global Lexus battery electric vehicle, and that's correct because you need to make sure that we don't have the UX300E in North America, and that's why they're saying that this is the first global BEV because this one will be available in all markets where Lexus actually does business, rather than the UX is actually the first BEV. And then you can see here there's three trims and it's starting at 64,950 Canadian. And I'm not going to go through this, all the features they're saying here. I'm going to go into a spreadsheet to talk about what features and what's available in these three trims. So this is the start of seeing the Lexus RZ available in Canada. So switching over to the RZ site in the Lexus website, in the press release they actually had a lexus.ca/RZ, but unfortunately that actually brings a 404. So going to lexus.ca, going to the future where we see this RZ, one thing that you would actually notice, it says at this time, RZ will only become available in British Columbia and Quebec. So, folks in Ontario, where I am, unfortunately, we probably would not be seeing the RZ, and I don't know when they will actually be coming. Maybe I can reach out to Lexus and see if I can get more information, but at this point, it doesn't look like it's coming to Ontario anytime soon. So now we know the pricing of the RZ450e in Canada, so we can look at some comparison. So the RZ450e does not have an F Sport variant. So they only have the Signature, Luxury, and Executive. And then you look at, I'm comparing the NX450h Plus, and we still don't know what the pricing for the RX450h Plus is. So all three of these are electrified Lexuses, whereas the RZ is the full battery, and the NX450 and the RX450 are plug-in hybrids. So looking at the base, so the NX starts at 450H plus starts at 59,950, which means it qualifies for the $5,000 rebate, the Canadian rebate. And then in BC and Quebec, you'll have to see what else additional you'll get from rebates from provincial, and it goes all the way to 76,350. Then you look at the RZ. So the RZ starts at 64,950, which means they don't qualify for the $5,000 rebate that the Canadian government provides. And it goes all the way to the executive, which is 80,950. So comparing that with the NX, you can see that the pricing is not too far away. It's about it's about $4,600 from the F Sport 3, the mostly fully loaded, to the executive. It's about that range. And then if you look at the executive, the non F Sport, you're talking about $550 difference. And then we probably, when we know about the RX, probably the RX will be more expensive than the RZ, or close enough. Then when we look at the United States, so you can see this is the pricing of the United States pricing, and it starts at 59,650 going to 65,150. But again, there are a la carte items that they can add on. But again, the NX is also the same, right? So the NX Luxury starts at 57,705. So the entry is actually very close. But then with the Luxury, you can add all the way to 63 and $30 for the NX. And the F Sport, this is actually the F Sport. In the US, there's no 3. So the F Sport starts at 15,895 going up to 63,670. So when you look at in the United States, it's hard to say because I don't know what additional a la carte items that they can add in the US at this point. But pricing of the NX450H Plus and the RZ are very similar. The RZ is a tad more expensive, but not too far away. So switching over to the RZ site in the Lexus website, in the press release they actually had a lexus.ca/RZ, but unfortunately that actually brings a 404. So going to lexus.ca, going to the future where we see this RZ, one thing that you would actually notice, it says at this time, RZ will only become available in British Columbia and Quebec. So, folks in Ontario, where I am, unfortunately, we probably would not be seeing the RZ, and I don't know when they will actually be coming. Maybe I can reach out to Lexus and see if I can get more information, but at this point, it doesn't look like it's coming to Ontario anytime soon. So looking at the pre-order brochure, we get 3 trims, the Signature, Luxury, and Executive. So you can see the pricing is 64,950, 73,550, and the Executive 80,950. And when you look at the horsepower, so they're saying it's about 312 horsepower. And the battery capacity is a 71.4 kilowatt hour battery, and when you look at from a 0, I'm not sure if this is 0 to 100 or what 0 to 60 miles, because the brochure actually says 0 to 60 kilometers in 5.4 seconds, which I don't think it's right because that's extremely slow. Because if it's 0 to 60 in 5.4, that's going to be crazy. So I'm assuming that was 0 to 60 miles, which is 96 kilometers, being 5.4 seconds, which when you look compared to that, that is a tad faster than the NX450H Plus. And then you look at the all-electric range. So the Signature gets 360 kilometers, which actually tells you that it uses an 18-inch wheel, whereas the Luxury and the Executive only gets 320 kilometers. And I would say is the electric range is not impressive. But I would say for most people it's decent, but if you're looking at using this as a a car that you're going to drive it to trips, every 300-ish kilometers you have to go and do a full charge, that may be a concern. But if you're doing this as a city hauler or whatever, this definitely would be okay. Like 320, I think that will be enough for a day's worth of driving, and you can use the level 3 charging at I think it was a 450 kilowatt grade. I'll pull that up after this, and then that probably would be enough for most of you. But if you're looking at comparing to other electric vehicles, 320 is definitely not comparable. Direct 4 all-wheel drive. So we've seen this in the new RX, and I think right now this is now the next vehicle. Originally, this was actually announced first before the RX, but now the RX came out first before the RZ. So the all-wheel drive system in the RX is now showing up here. And we have the length, wheelbase, and the width and the height. So this information, you can compare it to whatever vehicle you have and get a sense of how big this vehicle is. Now looking at the tires, the wheels, the Signature gets the 18-inch 5-spoke alloy wheels, whereas the luxury gets a 20-inch with dark metallic gray, and the executive gets a 20-inch with gunmetal finish. They all have LED headlamps and tail lamps. They both have a new dial type shift knob, so no longer the Prius style, but it's more like a dial that you go left and right, press the button for park. And then they all have headlamp washers, have windshield wiper deicer, because it has the cold area package for most of the US folks. It has sport, normal, and eco drive modes because there's no F Sport, so there won't be an F Sport S Plus one. The Signature and the Luxury will actually get new Lux uh, seats, whereas the Executive will actually get Ultra Suede. So to me, new Lux is actually okay and decent because it's actually a little bit easier for me to manage, and it doesn't really crack as easily. Now we look at this radiant heater. This is really the knee heater. Actually, this I can actually confirm that the Signature will not have that heater, whereas the Luxury and Executive will actually have the radiant heater. And from my experience of the NX, a plug-in hybrid, this is actually a very critical heater that if the NX 450h Plus had it, even in the winter, I probably don't need the heat coming out from the vents. I've been able to drive the NX 450h like when it's like 0 degrees without having to turn on the heat, because I've been going short distances. Probably I don't want to lose electricity to warm up the cabin. And the heated steering wheel, the heated seats actually warm you enough. But I've actually experienced where my legs feel a little bit cold when I don't have the heat turned on. And with this heater, it actually will solve that problem because it will produce heat in the leg well and then keeping your legs warm. So not really needing to turn on that that heat system will actually help save a fair amount of electricity, I would say. And it's good for short distances. If you're going to take a long drive, then you might as well turn it on because once you use the electricity to turn on the heat, you'll be comfy and it doesn't really drag more when it can maintain the heat in the car. And you probably don't want to feel cold when you're driving long distances. But with this lake warmer, I would say I probably would not need to turn it on for many of my drives. And now you can see here, there's a heated front seats that are standard across. Heated steering wheel is also standard across. The heated rear seats are available only on the executive trim, whereas the ventilated front seats are available in the luxury and executive trims. Now looking at the speaker system, the Signature and the Luxury will get you the 10-speaker audio system, and I think that probably would be very similar to the NX system. And only the Executive, you will be getting the 13-speaker Mark Levinson sound system, and all of them will actually get the bigger 14-inch touchscreen display where you see that in the higher grades of the RX and the NX. There's also a 7-inch digital instrument cluster, which seems to be exactly the same cluster we see on the NX and the RX. And they also said that the Executive also gets a high-grade meter cluster. So I don't know what that is, but we'll have to see that when we learn more information. Now we move on to the ambient lighting. I know a lot of us complain that the ambient lighting is not bright enough. I'm assuming the RZ would be the same. The Signature gives you a single setting, which means one color ambient lighting system. So I'm assuming it's only one color. And the Luxury gives you single setting ambient light system with shadow feature. Don't know what the shadow feature means. And the Executive gives you the multicolor ambient lighting system with shadow feature. Something to learn more about. All right, now we move down to the dual zone automatic control. So that's standard. Wireless charging system is standard. I hope that charging system works better than the NX. Lexus, you need to do better and test these with your iPhone 14s or iPhone 13s or even 12s just to make sure that they will charge before you actually bring them out to the marketplace. And it also includes a level 1 charging cable so that you can charge with level 1 at home. But if you actually have a level 2 charger at home, this charger is probably you're going to keep it either in the trunk just in case you need some juice. But it probably won't be used much because with such a big battery, you probably want a level 2 charger at home. Now looking at the moonroof situation, the Signature does not have a moonroof at all. The Luxury gives you a panoramic moonroof, but it does not dim. And the Executive gives you the same panoramic moonroof, but it has a dimming feature. So I think it's similar to the Venza thing where it actually would haze it and dim the moonroof, but the moonroof does not open. The power back door and the kick sensor is only available at the Luxury and Executive, not available in the Signature. And the driver's seat memory is the same, available in the Luxury and Executive trims. Now going down to the Lexus interface, you would see here that the safety, service, and remote connect are available across the board. And the Drive Connect, which is, I believe, the navigation, is not included as part of the Signature, but you can still subscribe with a fee. And in the higher trims, the Luxury and the Executive, you will be getting that trial for the Drive Connect. And then, as part of the Lexus safety system, which I have not broken down here, includes all the other safety features. But on top of it, there are additional safety features where we've included here. So, like the traffic jam assist, the lane change assist, front cross traffic alert, assist actually are available on the Luxury and Executive. Whereas the Executive gets the Lexus Adaptive High Beam System with dynamic leveling. Okay, backup camera with back guide monitor is available across the board. It has 8 airbags. Blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic alert is standard. Digital latch with safety exit assist, hoping that Lexus has already resolved the issue that some NX owners are having right now, and that is when it gets too cold, the digital latch actually hardens. There's ice buildup, and you cannot open the driver door. Hopefully, this actually would be resolved when the RZ comes out, but because they're starting to sell more RXs, NXs, and now RZs with this digital latch, they gotta have to fix it. And then we have this rear seat reminder system, which a lot of people feel it's annoying, but it's available as standard. So we're almost at the end here. We have the door courtesy lamps, which is available in the Luxury and Executive. The premium instrument panel decoration. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm assuming this is making the interior look better. There is parking support with brake. It is only on the Luxury and Executive, and the panoramic view monitor is available in the same Luxury and Executive. And the remainder are all Executive only, which is the 10-inch heads-up display, digital key with key card. Okay, so this one is, in my experience with the digital key, I probably not something that you really need. The key card is convenient. The acoustic front and rear side glass. So this is actually making the cabin a little bit quieter, and it seems like it's only available on the Executive. I probably need to double check that because that probably adds more weight, but I'm assuming it is only available on the Executive at this part. And then the last is the Lexus Advanced Parking System, which we've seen in the NX and the RX already, and that's only available with the Executive package. So going through this, you can, like, from my point of view, it seems like only the radiant heater, that which I've never seen before. Most of the stuff are things that Lexus already has in the RX or the NX, and it doesn't really, like, it's just a different combination of items and with a first BEV. So which one will you pick based on the pricing that you're seeing here, and when you look at the pricing of the NX 450h plus, and probably the RX 450h plus will be a tad more expensive than this RZ. Which one will you pick? I'm assuming size wise, some will pick the RX because of the bigger size, or this RZ, but I think the RZ, some people would say the range is just not good enough, because if you think of it, 320 kilometers in winter, even if they say they're the best and they only lose 15% range, that's 200 and something kilometers. And then if it's the worst, if they lose 30%, that is quite significant, but you lose almost like 100 kilometers if it's 30%. So you only get 220 kilometers of EV range in the winter. It's a little bit low, right? If you do have a busy day, you probably would have used it all in quite a short time period. So leave in the comments below, which one will you pick? The RZ, NX, or the RX plug-in hybrid? And when I get more information on the RZ, I'll have another video on the RZ. So click that subscribe button, and I'll talk to you again next time. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please comment, like, and share this video. If you'd like to see more videos like this, you can subscribe to my channel and press that alert button to get notified when new videos are posted. If you'd like to support the channel, you can definitely provide a super thanks. I'll see you guys again next time in the next video.